Yat she Glen Charleston ni she Tanazani Neshlit Torijini Bashichin, Ki Ani Dashiche, Kelhichini Dashanale, St. John's, Arizona, Dinashan. Hello, my name is Glenn Charleston. I'm of the Tutnazani clan, born for the Torijini clan. My maternal grandfather is of the Ki Ani clan, and my paternal grandfather is of the Kinlichini clan. I am from the small rural town of St. John's, located in the northeastern part of Arizona. I'm 18 years old, and currently I am studying at the University of Arizona as a freshman in the chemical engineering program. Looking all the way back to my very first steps here at the U of A, I can't help but notice that this experience of leaving my rural hometown to come attend university has completely changed me, my perspectives, and my entire life. Like many first year college students, those first few weeks of classes were some of the most notable. Those first few weeks on campus, living the life of a first year college student, were filled with absolutely new and extraordinary experiences that could only be described as overwhelming. It was so overwhelming, in fact, that those first few weeks of college were some of the lowest points of my life. As I have learned through Native SOAR, many students of the indigenous background are subject to hardship and struggle when exposed to the arena that is higher education. I've learned from Dr. Amanda Ticini in her book Native Presence and Sovereignty in College that even though more and more Native youth aspire to go off to college, the enrollment rate and persistence of indigenous university students still remain in a critically low state. The expectation of Native high school students attaining a bachelor's degree has risen by 19%, 26% for those wanting to pursue a graduate degree. However, only a meager 17% of Native high school graduates go off to attend university on the national scale. Of that 17% that do go off to college, only 7 out of 10 will return after their first year. Hearing of this misfortune that is a current ailment to the success of Native people across the country, I wanted to know why. Why is it that Native students are more prone to failing and falling compared to other demographics? Moving here to Tucson, I had not a single ounce of familiarity in this new and very intimidating environment. I felt as if I was plunged into an entirely foreign culture. I felt alone and lost. I felt without direction. Every day was led without purpose, and I began to forget why I was even in school. This, of course, had a heavy impact on my daily life. I performed outside of my best self, and I felt as if I had already failed in school. I was without a solid base of stability or security. Every day I was progressing closer and closer to my limit and just resorting to giving up on school entirely. To say the least, I was so far away from being a healthy individual, and I knew it. So I knew that in order to survive, I needed to reach out for help. In those times of desperate need, I turned to Native American Student Affairs, NASA, the Cultural Center for Native Students at the U of A. It was through NASA that I was able to really start connecting more and more to this environment of which I was in. I started to attend their events. I spent my time at their lounge. I was introduced to various clubs. With each passing day, I made friends, and I felt that I had a group, and eventually I had a sense of support and community that I was longing for. Becoming engaged with NASA was truly a game changer. I began to feel like I belonged, that I actually belonged to a community that would support and uplift me. I started to realize more and more that maybe college wasn't as bad as I thought, and soon enough, Tucson started to become my home away from home. In her book, Beyond the Asterisks, Dr. Heather Shotton explains that when it comes to the issue, needs, and characteristics of Native American college students, the situation can only be described as unique and multifaceted. A point of Dr. Shotton that stuck out to me was when she mentioned that offering culturally relevant spaces and programs are an essential component when it comes to Native American student success and can make a world of difference in how these students navigate their daily existence. Even more is when Indigenous Student Centers, also known as Native American Student Affair Units, are implemented as key spaces for students to be in relation with others like them and to meet faculty and staff, find community, combat isolation, and find reprieve from the daily settler colonialist environment. The reason why I find these specific statements as prominent is that I can, without a single doubt in my mind, testify that these units of community really do make a difference in the lives of Indigenous students. Now, having served as a mentor for Native SOAR, I recognize the importance of the sense of community and belonging for Native students. Having that support from those around you is pinnacle when it comes to success and retention for Native American college students. For me, it was NASA and all the amazing people that really got me out of my hole and opened the door into success and perseverance. I wanted that for my mentees. I wanted them to feel like they belong anywhere they go. To implement this, I took advice from the article Indigenous Knowledge Realized by Christine Nelson, where she talks about how to approach a mentee who could be of a different tribal affiliation. She explains that as mentors, we should try to see through our mentees' perspectives and try to approach in a friendly manner to gain that connection, instead of a connection solely based off of our tribal affiliation. With this in mind, I made sure to try and make my mentees feel as comfortable as they wanted to be. I wanted them to feel heard and seen, and in the end, I felt that I had a great connection with a lot of them. With all this being said, my greatest takeaway from Native SOAR is to try and implement a sense of community, relation, and belonging. That sense of support and comfort is a key aspect to success in anyone. Without it, we feel isolated and alone. Without it, I wouldn't have survived my first year of college. This knowledge is something that I will always carry with me from now on. Anywhere I go, I want to serve as an example of strength and encouragement. I want others to feel like they belong and that they are not alone. First, I will graduate with my bachelor's, then I will continue into the future, and I will always make sure to include those thoughts of the next generation of Native scholars and youth.